Hey everybody, I'm going over the Gravity Form Choice Converter plugin I recently released. I wrote this plugin when I was working with a form that had over 500 fields and needed drop-downs converted to radio buttons. But I also need to preserve the conditional logic as well as the CSS classes that were attached to the settings for those particular fields. Without this plugin, I would have spent hours rebuilding the entire form or diagnostically reviewing the settings for each individual field that had to be rebuilt and making sure that everything lined up appropriately. So this saved me so much time. And I'm really hoping it saves another developer or anybody that's working with Gravity Forms and streamlines the development if they need to convert those choice fields. So we're going to go over the basic features as well as the license activation. It's pretty straightforward as far as installation. Once you purchase the plugin, you download it and install it just as you would any WordPress plugin. Go to Plugins, Add New, add the file, and then on your the left-hand side in the menu, you'll end up having the Converter Fields option pop up. Nav is License. You'll grab your key that you have, and then you'll drop it in the field. Hit Save, Activate, and then you'll get a notification that says your license is active and valid. From there, you can move on. If your form's already created, which it should be, then you can go to Convert Fields, and then from the drop-down, select your field, and then go through those options now, or your form, excuse me. Now, what we'll do is we're going to the Gravity Forms to review a test form that I already created, and then review the corresponding settings that I have and walk through those features. So we'll click Edit. I currently have a name field, drop-down checkbox radio, and then also a comments field. In the name, there are no settings attached. I'll explain why here in a moment. And then in the drop-down, in the appearance options, I have a CSS class that's currently attached. Now, there's nothing special about the checkbox or the radio. I'm just using those for reference. But if we go to comments, I have some conditional logic that's currently applied. And you can see that the drop-down option, if first choice is selected, then the comments will be displayed. And if we preview this form, then we can verify that the drop-down is selected, or the first choice is selected in the drop-down, which shows the comments. If we select second choice, it disappears. Go back, select first choice, and then of course we have our first class, that the CSS class that's tied to this drop-down as well. So what we're going to do is convert the drop-down selection, all of these choices, the first, second, and third, and we're going to convert this to a radio button. So we'll close this preview, and we will navigate to Convert Fields, and then we are going to select our form from the drop-down. We'll select Test Form, and then you can see where the choice fields are actually populating in this list. Now what's missing, of course, are the comments and then also the name field, and that's the reason I had those in there, to show that this conditionally selects only the fields that can be converted. Next to the name, we also have the ID and then also the type of box. So just in case if you have something with similar names, but you forgot specifically which was which, you can identify it by the ID or the actual type. Now, since we're going to convert our drop-down, we'll select that, and you can see that a new option appears, and that's the target field type. That allows us to determine what we want to convert it to. Now, obviously, we're not going to convert a drop-down to drop-down, so that option is missing. So we have checkbox and radio. Now, if we were to say we want drop-down and checkboxes converted to radio, we would check that option, and then you can see that our third option is added back, and that's just because that's in the mix. Now, what we'll do is uncheck this. We've got our drop-down, and then we're going to say we want radio button selected. Now, two options appear right after that. One, duplicate form before converting, and this is something that I really wanted. So what we're going to do is we're not going to touch the original. Whenever we duplicate this and convert these fields, it's actually going to duplicate the form. And this is great because we can compare one to the other. So if we're verifying information, or we're doing a dry test run, or maybe we just need to duplicate the form, convert this, and then see if specific logic or maybe another add-on or plugin is interfering, then we can do so while protecting the original. Now, after that, I have backed up my website, and this is just the web developer in me. Everything should be backed up all the time, anytime you're currently working in development mode. I assume that you will probably have something that you can rely on. This is just a reminder. Once you select that box, convert selected fields, you'll be reminded that this cannot be undone, and then another reminder that you need to back up. And once you click OK, if you receive a red X, then that means that the conversion failed, and that's your notification that you need to go back, review the settings, or review the form. Green check mark is going to confirm however many fields that you actually converted, and then you can see that everything was successful. You'll hit close. You'll be redirected back to the original option. If you select the drop down, you can see that we have a new form that was recently created. It has form 1, shows it was duplicated, and we will go back and review these settings. So this is our original. Here's our newly duplicated. We're going to select edit, and we can see that our drop down is now a radio button. Now if we select this and then go to appearance, we can see that the CSS class is still here, first class. That's what we originally set. Reviewing comments, we can see conditional logic still applies, and then drop down is first choice. Now all the settings look correct, but what we need to do is actually test it to make sure it still works. We'll click preview. We can see that we're at our newly duplicated form. Our radio buttons are here. If I were to select first choice, comments are still attached. Since the first class CSS item is still listed in the settings, we're good to go there as well. I really hope this saves somebody a massive amount of time, just like it did myself. Feel free to ask any questions below, or you can go to reallysimpleplugins.com and go to the contact. There's a feature request, so if you have an idea for the plugin, or a support request if you need some assistance. Outside of that, if you have any questions, let us know. Thank you.